percentage. What's that? How much of this game is up to you? This game that you're playing right now, this game of life. How much of that is in your control? What's your personal power percentage? And 98% of the world's population believes that they are not the only ones in control of their destiny. Whether they believe in the laws of science, God, the universe, even fate or random chance, they believe that they're in partnership with something else, and they're not the only ones in control. And my belief is that once you choose what you believe in, that's the first step. But there's another question left to be answered. How much responsibility do you give to that other force in your life? 100%? 75%? The 50-50 partnership? Maybe you give 90%. I'm not here to convince you of what percent you should give. But I know that it's a valuable question to ask yourself, to know your answer. What's your personal power percentage? I had a basketball coach when I was in 6th grade. Her name was Leaf. She said, Amanda, if you look over at me during the game, things are going fast, people are dribbling balls, you get the ball and you look at me, I can tell you when to shoot. I may be even able to tell you where to shoot. But Amanda, I cannot shoot that ball for you. You've got to shoot that ball. You also don't want to be the minister, full of faith, standing on top of his church after a flood, after a tsunami, and the waters are swirling around him, and he's clinging to the steeple and praying, God save me, God save me, and a rescue helicopter comes. Come on, get on, buddy. He says, no, God's going to save me. God, I trust in the Lord. And the water swallows him up, and he goes to the Lord and said, but Lord, I trusted you. What the heck? And God goes, I sent you a helicopter, man. What percentage is up to you to act? Take my friend Laramie, for example. Last year at this time, my friend Laramie Butters, he's a big 6'4" cowboy boots, cowboy hat, the whole thing. And he was 100% in charge of his life last year. Working way too many hours at a job, but making money for his family. That's what he wanted to do. Now last summer, Laramie had a spiritual experience. And he knew that he had to trust in this God that he had believed in for a long time, but finally start relying on him in his life. And he took one hand off the wheel of his life, and he trusted God. He quit his job, and miracles started to happen. Now he was maybe not at 100%, he was maybe down at like 70 or 80%. He had action plans, he had spreadsheets, but he was open to some other force acting in his life. And miracles started to happen. Miracles that I wouldn't have believed except I was there. Like several chance meetings that eventually led to a job. Bills getting miraculously forgiven just out of nowhere. We took a wrong turn once, and it led us to the perfect child care situation. I mean, I felt like I was on candid camera when I was with this guy. I was like, what is happening? This is amazing. He has found a great power percentage, a great partnership with this other force in his life. But then he kind of took the other hand off the wheel. The action plans started disappearing, no more spreadsheets, and he was down at like 10 to 20% maybe in his life. He ended up losing his job, losing his child care, losing his home even. Not so good, Laramie. I'm sure he thinks in bed at night, like, what happened? And if you ask me, it's his personal power percentage. Got a little too low there for a second. might want to be, his sweet spot is probably up near 60–70% is what really makes him come alive. So what's this personal power percentage for you, where the miracles start happening? I have one good friend. She's a woman in her 60s, fully satisfied with her life. I asked her this question, and she said, you know, Amanda, I have the best luck when I'm up at like 85–90%. Just things click when I got most of things under control. I have another friend, also a woman in her 60s. She's like, I really feel good, but I'm at like 1–10%. You know, I know that I just got to do a few things, pretty much not interfere with the plans, and somebody else takes care of the rest. You know, it's great, and they feel so good. Both amazingly satisfied women that I admire very much. So I'm not here to tell you what it should be. My own personal percentage is 49%. Oh yeah, it feels so good to me. I know that if I am going to fill that 49%, really fill up that boat, I got to bring all my energy to the table, all my strength, all my talents, all my time. It's got to be in. It enlivens me. But I also like to leave that 51% up to something bigger and wiser than myself. They got the last final say. I can trust in that. It's good. So what percentage enlivens you, gets you off the bench? Where can the miracles start happening for you? What's your personal power percentage? I hope I have achieved my goal today of inspiring you to ask that question and answer it for yourselves. Thank you.
1 minute on the clock for judges, please.